Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. By virtue of the powers vested in me as Vice-Chancellor and Principal, I hereby declare that this congregation of the Vaal University of Technology is duly constituted for diplomas and degrees to be conferred to those students whose names appear on the program.
Ladies and gentlemen, as a congregation, you are invited to observe a moment of prayer before we commence with the official program. Dear Almighty, the Omniscient One, we come before you with all humility to serve you and your people. Please guide us in everything that we say and do. Bless each and every one of us, and bless our institution. Inspire us to strive for that which is good, and not to be self-seeking and serve your own interests. But let everything be done to your glory. Use us as your vessels of honor, so that the fruit of our labor may endure for peace and goodwill towards all mankind. We ask this in your name. Amen. Thank you. Welcome to the graduation ceremony of the Vaal University of Technology at Vanderbilt Park campus. Vice-Chancellor, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, I wish to welcome you as a congregation gathered here today to witness and celebrate the achievements of all our students at VUT on this momentous occasion. A special word of welcome to our distinguished guests, members of staff, families, and friends. To all diplomats and graduates, welcome to this long-awaited day. May it be everything you hoped for. Vice-Chancellor, it is my honor to present to you candidates of the Faculty of Engineering of the Valley University of Technology, whose names appear on the program for the receiving of the diplomas and degrees. National Diploma in Civil Engineering, Dala H.S. Dlamini V.Y. Kabwe K.R. Kabwika K.A. Kadima K.L. Koma N.C. Koza S.M. Kumane K.M. Makae M.N. Mahalela L.P. Malaka M.O. Maluke T.R. Maraisane M.M. Masheho GML. Matlow MG. Mia PF. Mosepe MP. Moshaone R. Mteto T. Tombeni L. Ndlovu HB. Dobe VK. Newalani T. Gombeni GP. Kunat TR. Kumalo C. Pele RP. Pinar W. Razilani L. Lamabulana MM. Smelane SS. Zazo N. Moleofane EKR. Sorry, that was National Diploma in Industrial Engineering. Oh, cum laude, cum laude. Christopher MVS. Lubwe NJ. Mashallah KL. Mashinini N. Mavuso MS. Mayemele F. Mwalusi MM. Mohane C. Paha RD. Mzizi M.E. Netononda M.E. Nechizombewa R. Mtangeni M. Lady Keledi TD. Ramutla KE. Richard CP. Sandler L. Solauche MSF. Semenya MM. Simane MT. Chilane KI. Sotesi NT. Zuane ML. National Diploma in Engineering Metallurgy. Strobeck R. Cum laude. Bone BH. Fenyane NF. Clutchwire NM. Hansi ST. Leketi OA. Lekomala BLM. Mahana CL. Nakwa Johnson. Mashita Cake C. Matumba MC. Betani A. Mohane ED. Mokwena BLE. Mudau ID. Nyangase TP. Shabalala L. Teko ZV. Chabokale RF. National Diploma in Operational Management. NE. Baccalaureus Technologia in Civil Engineering Structural. Ade N. Bila NN. Dutoit P. Clawayo N. Lukusa K.A. Maina M. Malete MP. Maluleke MC. No LT. Nankomo J. Zama P. Shabangu ST. Baccalaureus Technologia in Civil Engineering Transportation. Tane CM. Tuene LM. Cosa C. Masego KM. Bungele M. Mokwena NT. Molekwa MA. Mlauzi FV. Nisani BS. Namutambo BK. Ramutuveli NE. Senyane A. Tartibu FF. AF. Chivase L. Baccalaureus Technologia in Civil Engineering, Urban. Lekutwane MM. Lumbala NA. Mashava R. Harane P. Mula MJ. Gungu U. Petela S. Stole SP. Baccalaureus Technologia in Civil Engineering, Water. Nisi N. Malumeja ER. Moyo CD. Selepe Aniki MA. Baccalaureus Technologia in Industrial Engineering. Tule OE cum laude. Baloi TN. Chauke MT. Chauke V. Fichla AL. Kanyida MK. Diploma MM. Let's say ME. Let's wara N. Mahana MR. Malapi PR. Manganyi VW. Masakona RR. Matsuanela VS. Matsekoleng SN. Maveta TN. Banguzi YN. Mbe Lubi. Mokwele KJ. Molefe PTG. Monakali E. Nongwane H. Mosamani Mai PR. Nokagwe MKP. Mulauzi HM. Mlauzi KM. Munyai RG. Nemutudi M. PDK. Noko MJ. Nisimbwa Bibi. Kumalo SA. Sandamela MR. Sabwa PB. T4T. Chindane MJ. Tutu VC. Young N. Baccalaureus Technologia in Metallurgical Engineering. Mokonyane RD cum laude. Ndlovu M cum laude. Baloi MM. Bapela LM. Belankulu RC. Hasaklowe KS. Kameli MM. Knorkwe T. Mabe KJ. Malala DL. Malope K. Magana KN. Mangwane MJ. Maroha IH. Matume MS. Bakhlele MN. Muteho A. Como MV. Rantete TSG. Raselabe KM. Sebetlele A. Sebamatla DM. Skosana N. Totowe P. Baccalaureus Technologia in Operation Management. Kotane T. Cum Laude. Mayudon L. Cum laude. Sebotoma B.K. Cum laude. Cosa O.T. Quinda N.F. Mahanuke T.E. Mahalambe Mele L.V. Makatini J.W. Malamela B.T. Motlu K.M. Maupi S. Bombo R.O. Bonani S.S. Mobelo KP. Mwalusi PBH. Nohachane HD. Molefe MLJ. Molloy K.E. Mpela TE. Eoro M. Naganani FRC. Intikiga LTL. Papola MK. Ramahole IB. Sedibe NE. Shabanga JP. Sibeko PE. Sitole WM. Tau PS. Shabalala JJ. Vanstad IC. Magister Technologia in Metallurgical Engineering. The dissertation topic was development of a beneficiation route to upgrade scission iron ore, jig slimes of iron making. The supervisor was Professor L.O. Otunyini, and the co-supervisor was Miss Tabukhale. Motor Bangladesh. Vice-Chancellor, I hereby request that you confer the diplomas and degrees in absentia on those students whose names appear on the program but could not be present today.
I hereby do confer the degrees and diplomas in absentia on those candidates whose names appear on the program but could not be here today.
I thank you, Vice-Chancellor.
Thank you.
Now we come to the awards. Vice-Chancellor's awards. From the Faculty of Engineering. These awards are given to students who obtained the highest average in their faculty for the national diploma, or postgraduate diploma, or baccalaureate technologia, or master's. Mgmt. And that was in metallurgy only. I thank you, Vice-Chancellor.
Di palate, 2017, Wela Marabi, Sisishaya Nikwara Kwara. For 2017, Wela Marabi, Sisishaya Nikwara Kwara. 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 2018, our baby, Sisishaya Nikwara. For 2018, our baby, Sisishaya Nikwara. Sisishaya Nikwara. Sisishaya For 2018, our baby, Sisishaya Nikwara. For 2018, our baby, Sisishaya Nikwara. Sisishaya
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Can we please have another round of applause for the choir? Can we also have a round of applause for the choir master, Mr. Vumza Nomayama? I'm sure you'll agree with me that this is probably the best university choir on this earth. There's no other one. I'm told by the Vice-Chancellor that this is the second best choir in terms of trophies that they've won nationally. The only one that has beaten them is the Nelson Mandela Metropolitan University. But well done, choir. I've also been informed by the Vice-Chancellor that our choir is producing a CD, and that this CD is going to be sold for a very small amount of money, which is just 500 rands. But the proceeds from selling the CD are going to be used partly to sponsor the choir, to sponsor individual members of the choir, but also to sponsor some of our students that may need some form of assistance, either to buy a book or to get a meal or to buy a dress or even to buy a shirt. So you'll be encouraged to buy the CD once this CD has been cut, and it is there in the shops and in our own gift shop here on campus. Thank you very much. My role is very simple. I'm here to acknowledge all of you, but first I want to start to acknowledge the parents that are sitting here and the parents that are sitting over there. We really want to thank you very much for your support to these diplomands and graduates. You sacrificed a lot. In particular, you sacrificed in terms of your time, but you also sacrificed in terms of money that you gave to our diplomands and to our graduates, so that that money could either be their pocket money or to buy a book or for their university fees. So your sacrifices, this is the fruits of your sacrifice. A round of applause for the parents, please. I'm also aware that some of our students are mothers and fathers. Therefore, I want to acknowledge their spouses, their husbands, and their wives. I know you saw them. They were coming to school. They were coming to the university on Saturdays, even on Sundays. They were sleeping late, and you were wondering what they were doing. This is what they were doing. They were studying so hard. So I thank you very much, the spouses, the wives, and the husbands. Now that your husband has got a diploma, or your husband has got a degree, or your wife has got a diploma, or your wife has got a degree, it is now your turn to go back to school so that they look after you. Right in front of me, I've got a very special group of people that I really want to acknowledge. I want to acknowledge the grandparents who came with us here. The grandparents who are providing you with the spiritual support so that you do what you do best. Grandparents, grandfathers, and grandmothers, we thank you very much for all the support that you gave to these diplomands and graduates while they were studying, your prayers, your spiritual support, your counseling to them, your guidance, especially in terms of our own African culture, because you are the custodian of our African culture. So I acknowledge you on behalf of this institution, and I thank you for supporting these graduands and diplomandi. A round of applause for our grandparents, please. I would also want to acknowledge our Executive Dean for his leadership of the Faculty of Engineering and Technology, Professor Maurice Ndege. And I want to acknowledge all the academics that are here, the heads of departments that are here. I want you to stand up so that the grandparents and the parents can see you. Can you please stand up for a second? Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. I know some of you, during your 3 years, or during your 3.5 years, or during your 4 years, or during your 4.5 years, when Professor Peter Menonidis and the other HODs gave you 55, 54, and you said, I demanded 60%, you were angry, they knew what they were doing. So a round of applause for them, please. Thank you. I also want to acknowledge we have a very vibrant student representative council. A few of them are here, but we have got one who is here, the gentleman that you saw holding the mess. His name is Tsidiso Mukwena. He has got a tie today. Normally he doesn't put on a tie. So I'm going to have a photograph with him because he's a gentleman, he's a smart guy. We acknowledge our SRC. Stand up, please. Thank you. Thank you very much, Mr. Mukwena. I also want to acknowledge my colleagues. I've got Mr. Mike Kuboni, who is the head of corporate affairs. If you could stand up, sir, so that people see you. This function is partly organized by corporate affairs, and some of the members of the corporate affairs are still here with us. Then the next group of people I want to acknowledge are my two colleagues from the registrar's office, the people that were putting that hood on your shoulders. That hood is symbolic. It symbolizes a rite of passage. It symbolizes that, yes, now you have that diploma, that now you have that degree. So it's a very important piece of cloth. It goes back to the 4th century. That's where this tradition goes. So I want to ask Ms. Sally Zingwa and George Mofokeng to stand up, please. Thank you. I know quite a few of you came to my office on a number of occasions, and you're saying we've been blocked because we haven't paid our fees or we've been blocked, we still owe so much money to the university. And the people who manage our finances in the institution are the Chief Finance Officer, Mr. Les Kotsia, and the Executive Director, Finance, Mr. Neo Masudibelo. If you could stand up, gentlemen. Thank you very much. I just want finally, obviously, to acknowledge our our principal and Vice-Chancellor, Professor Gordon Zidem. We thank you very much, sir, for agreeing to come to this fine institution so that he could be at the helm of the institution and in the process provide us the intellectual and the managerial guidance to ensure that this institution stands very proud among sister institutions in the country. We thank you very much, sir.
You know, colleagues, if I was in my church, I would be saying amen. Because this church choir has really touched me. By the way, the Xhosa hymn that they sang is taken from the Xhosa Methodist hymn book, then that's 90, Uyesu Lithemba Lam. And that's ke rilaka lenu ka Sesotho kapo sona si kokotlelo. And then the Sesotho version of that is hymn 195 modifileng tsa Sesotho udifila tsa wesele. And so ha bane ba bina, they are really touching my very African soul. And thank you very much. Choir. George, Unatarona, I'm making a mistake. I nearly said church choir. But of course, when I say church choir, it just simply affirms where I'm coming from. By the way, I've got a pact with this choir, and I said to them, when I go preach at St. Stephen's in Sharpeville under Reverend David Konza, one of these Sundays that are coming, I will hire a kumbi from my own pocket, not from the university funds, Mr. CFO. And then I will pay for their lunch, and I will ask them to accompany me to Sharpeville so that I can boast about them publicly. Because indeed they are very close to my heart. Colleagues, before we get into the business of today, I would just like you to rise by way of giving recognition and paying tributes to the two stalwarts of the African National Congress who have moved on to the world beyond eternity. And that is Mama Winnie Madikizela Mandela, as well as Dr. Zola Skweyiya. And so these two have passed on with a few days in between. So can we rise and give recognition to them?
May their souls rest in peace. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Colleagues, I have just been told by our two senior deputy registrars that by Friday next week, we shall have graduated 2,800 degrees and diplomas combined. That is really a major academic and intellectual contribution to the human capital of our country. But up to this afternoon or early evening, we shall have graduated 1,700. And of these, can our male graduates and diplomandi just raise their hands from where they are? Only male. That's right. Okay. Can our women graduates and diplomandi rise from their chairs? Thank you very much. Thank you very much. And I think the message that I'm trying to convey is very clear to everybody. Since we started, plus minus 60% of those that have graduated are women. And I don't want to use the language that my predecessor would always use and say, men, be careful. We are here now as women. But all I want to say is that our women graduates have rightfully taken over the intellectual space of our country. And so may your gowns and your hoods, your degrees and diplomas not just be put on days like these, but wherever you shall be, make sure that you give light to those who are still in darkness, because that is the essence of an academic qualification. And having said that, colleagues, I would like us to listen to these words. And I'm not going to be very long, because I've decided to take one or two words of advice, and I want to recognize the warning which I got from the senior deputy registrar that I tend to be very long-winded, and so he is taking out a pen to indicate how many minutes I've taken. So, George, I will make sure that I honor that commitment. Remembering your roots even as you dance and ululate in the glory of your achievements and successes. Graduation Day is a very special day to all of us, as it brings along joy, delight, and happiness. However, as we celebrate our achievements and successes, let us also remember those who have not been fortunate like us, walking across the stage on such a very special and auspicious occasion. The spirit of Africa is indeed in our midst. Not many of your ilk have had this opportunity to enroll at a university and to succeed, but you are the chosen ones. And so, as you celebrate your achievements, remember your roots, even in the midst of your celebrations and jubilations. As an African compatriot myself, endowed with the spirit of Africanism and humanism, I urge you not to forget your roots, as the journey of your careers and successes is starting now. The jingling coins of materialism and richness will soon make your pockets heavy and heavier, and the temptation of turning your backs away from your African background and traditions, as well as forgetting the perennial land question, will be playing heavily on your consciences. Whatever the circumstances may be, please forget not your roots. Remember your roots and your backgrounds will make you a better person, not only a better person, but a proud citizen of our country, but also not just a citizen of our country, but equally so, an excellent denizen of our continent, Africa, and the world over. I repeat, remember not to forget your African spirit and the beating drums of Africa, the blowing winds of our mother continent, and the pattering waters of our crisscrossing rivers of Africa, and the undulating plains and valleys of our natural architecture, and beautified by our natural mountains, which gives an awesome beauty of our land, which the colonizers and the imperialists saw it fit to plunder and balkanize. And so, remember, this is your proud moment. This is your proud, heartfelt African moment. And so, never lose your African identity because of materialism and capitalism. You are graduating at a time when our country is fraught with a myriad and a tapestry of challenges, conundrums, and complexities informed and driven by perplexities, paradigms, ineluctable imponderables. And this is the moment for which you have been waiting, and the moment which the country has equally been waiting for, producing a new breed of men and women who can stand up straight in an upside-down environment and stand for truth and justice in the midst of persecution and prosecution. This is the true spirit of Africanism and humanism. Embrace it with your open arms. Yes, whilst the winds of change are blowing all over South Africa as things fall apart, and South Africa has become a restless nation, in the midst of all of these challenges, there is in you the newly African-baked intelligentsia. Take up the challenge and make South Africa a true democratic country. Otherwise, Khubusana's words will consistently come to haunt us and haunt you. And what does Khubusana say? He has written a very interesting book in the language of one of the Nguni languages, is Xhosa, and the title is Zemkinkomo Magwalandini. Those of you who do not understand the language, this is loosely translated as your treasure, your heritage, and your wealth are being snatched under your watch, you cowards. You are graduating at a time when the country is mourning the passing on of two of the distinguished freedom fighters of our lifetime, Mrs. Winnie Madikizela-Mandela and Dr. Zola Skweyiya. And the only palpable and plausible gift you could ever give to these two freedom fighters would be for you to continue fighting the injustices and the inequities which have come to be synonymous with our country, South Africa, or shall I say, the true word and the true name of our country, Azania. During our student days, many years ago at Forte, we were members of the South African Students' Organization, deeply informed by the Black Consciousness Movement, which was founded by the late Stephen Bantu Biko and Professor Bani Pichana, Strini Mudli, Erin Nengwenkulu, Mapeta Muhapi, and many others. And by the way, even Musiwa Likota was a member of the Black Consciousness Movement. And may I also add that even Cyril Ramaphosa, when he was at the University of the North, I was at the University of Forte, we used to meet during our SASO meetings. And so, we used to shout high and loud and said, one Azania, one nation. And I want to be convinced that we were wrong. But my research tells me that we were right. South Africa is the only country in Africa that does not have a proper name. South Africa is just a geographical location, south of Africa. Many African countries, after having attained their freedom and liberation, deemed it appropriate to be renamed. Why can't we do the same with South Africa? We continue, even in our present-day democracy, talking about a country that is at the tip end of the south of Africa. But the name Azania seems to be lost somewhere. But the irony of it is that we no longer have northern and southern Rhodesia. We have Zimbabwe and Zambia. And we no longer have Southwest Africa. We have Namibia. Why can't therefore we have Azania? Maybe you, as engineers, will have to come up with new bridges which are going to bridge the past and the future and adopt a new name for our country. Remember your African felt background and do not forget your roots. Charles Dickens, in his masterpiece book, A Tale of Two Cities, posits, and I quote, "It was the best of times, it was the worst of times. It was an epoch of belief, it was an epoch of incredulity," I close quote. Yes, in years gone by, it was the best of times to be an African. and being a denizen of our continent. But with the advent of colonialists and imperialists, it became the worst of times. It is now your responsibility to take Azania out of the morass of what William Gumede calls a restless nation and turn it into the best of times. Quite often we hear of the following challenges facing our country: poverty, unemployment, and inequality. These are the demands which are drummed into our heads over and over again, but there seems to be no immediate solution to the said challenges because we seem to have forgotten our African felt background, and our ancestors have probably turned their backs away from us because we continue calling this our beloved country with a colonial name, South Africa. May I also be bold and say to our African ancestors, and say that our African ancestors are probably beginning to turn their backs away from this institution, not unless we can come up with what Professor Jimbo calls super and supra-inordinate power of intervention. That is the challenge that we are putting to the academics of this institution, and that equally goes to you as the new intelligentsia. We need to engage in robust debates, not about destruction, the property of the university, but about intellectual debates, positioning our way of thinking and deeply rooted in our African philosophy. Graduates, if you fail to listen to the drums of the African beat, Khubusana's words will forever haunt you. Zemki Nkomo Makwalandini. I wonder and I ponder as to what the permanent cure is going to be of the following cancerous challenges, which are not spoken about quite frequently. And what are these? Corruption, Guptarization, tenderpreneurship, money laundering, fraud and bribery, infrastructural decay, state capture, and the rampant institutional capture. These and many more challenges have led Mahmoud Mamdani to decry in his book, When Victims Become Killers. What has informed Mahmoud Mamdani is that in years gone by, we had comrades and compatriots fighting for the liberation of this country and arguing that as soon as we shall have attained our freedom, every citizen will enjoy the fruits and the benefits of the new constitution, and everybody will be treated equally, and that we are going to move out of the rot of materialism. But lo and behold, the very people who fought against injustices of the past today have become the very killers of the democracy. Hence, Mahmoud Mamdani is saying, when victims become killers. They were victims yesteryear of the apartheid regime, but now they have become killers of their very own democracy. Make sure that in your endeavors, you are counted amongst those who have injected a sense of morality in our bloodstream. I remember and I recall my very own graduation ceremony some years ago, and yesterday Professor Jimbo highlighted something which I also want to highlight. I have deliberately said many years ago, and I did not want to give the year when my first graduation took place, because you would start recalculating the things that you don't really have business to calculate. And so, but as I was walking across the stage then, I prayed an African prayer. And this is the African prayer which I would want you to continue praying. And I said, the omniscient and omnipotent African One, help me not to forget my African roots and my African background. I close my own quote. And to this day, my ancestors and my African gods have heeded my prayer. Hence, I'm a strong believer as well as an adherent to the African values. The city of gold is full of glittering lights and shining stars and twinkling stars. And if you are not careful, you may be attracted to these more sheepishly and not look at what is going on down there as you traverse the road full of prizes and surprises. My advice is simple. Walk carefully and beware of quicksands which may swallow and devour you if you forget your African roots. Enjoy and celebrate your successes and achievements with pride and humility, but equally take delight in knowing that VUT is celebrating with you. As we do so, we're always inspired and motivated by the philosophy of the late King Sobhuza II, the father to King Mswati, let alone that he had more than 20 wives. This is not what I'm arguing for. And King Mswati, at his age, he has just about a few years ago, 40, but already he's got about 16 wives, and this is not what I'm advocating for. However, what his father said, as interpreted by Prophet Landandwe in her book, Akusiko Kwami Kwebantu, it is not about me, it is about the people. And so, with your qualifications, much as you have worked hard for them, always remember, it is not about you, it is about the people. These people that are here, your aunts, your grandparents, your brothers, your spouses, as the Vice Principal indicated, your institution, the nation and the society out there should really be your primary focus. And say to the world over, it is not about me, it is about the people. And when you adopt that philosophy, you'll be a better person. But if you say, it's me, mine, myself, and I, you will be losing something. This philosophy is an embodiment of what it is to be African. You are graduating at a time at which William Gumede is addressing the question of a restless nation, making sense of troubled times. And when I opened, I said, we're living in times between times. And these are the troubled times. You shall have to navigate your way through and to save our country from a disastrous tsunami of economic destruction. Our country is fraught with a high level of moral deficit, which has led William Gumede to say, and I quote him, it's not me, that's William Gumede. Elected leaders are living the high life on taxpayers' money, and in their bubble of luxury, they are forgetting about the poor, close quote. But I want to add that when time comes for elections, you see our leaders in German cars, 4x4, driving into the squatter camps, appealing for votes. That is fine. That is fine. But do they ever come back after the elections and to say, thank you very much for electing us? If they do, there are very few of them who do that. The scenario describes a nation which has forgotten its roots. Forgetting the poor is basically turning away from one's own background and one's own self. The other day, the executive driver and I were driving to the airport, and we had to give way to about 16 black cars with those green and blue lights. 16 transporting one person. 16 transporting one person. That is the abuse of taxpayers' money. My colleagues will tell you right now that I've been resisting at VUT and many other universities. There is a Vice-Chancellor's car. And the car which is allocated to the Vice-Chancellor has done about 200,000 Ks. And the policy said it should be changed. I said, no, we can't, because VUT is not in good financial position. You can imagine if the Vice-Chancellor buys a new car, or the university buys a Vice-Chancellor a new car. I've got my own car, which is fine. But I said to Juice, Mr. Mahluko, let's drive this car. The day it stops on the N1 to the airport, and the Vice-Chancellor hitchhikes to the airport, it will send a message. But for now, let's drive it until it falls flat. As I conclude, may I remind you of what it means to remember your roots and what it means to remember Africa. I'm drawing from the words of Robert Mangaliso Sobukwe, who in 1949, addressing a similar occasion to this one, a graduation ceremony, he said the following words, and I quote, "Let me plead with you, lovers of my Africa, to carry with you into the world the vision of a new Africa, an Africa reborn, an Africa recrafted, young Africa. We are the glimmers of a new dawn." I close quote. Finally, let me leave with you with the words of Leo Buscaglia, because when I say remember what it is to be African and remember your roots, I'm challenging you today to say only you can make the difference. And so, Leo Buscaglia, and these are my final words to you, he says, "You alone can bring magic and humor and joy to the people you encounter. Anything you dream, by the very nature that you can dream it, makes it possible. For the purpose of life is to help others, and if you can't help them, would you at least not hurt them? You can make things happen that you never thought you could. The greatest risk in life is to risk nothing. The person who risks nothing, does nothing, has nothing, and is nothing. To be is to do, and to do is to do now, because tomorrow might not be there. You have everything you need to be so much. Don't settle for less. There is no end to human potential, and there's so much more to learn. The time for action is now, and only you can make the difference. I thank you. Can we all rise before the singing of the national anthem? Can I request just the parents and relatives to remain seated and the graduates and the diplomands to remain standing? This is one of those ceremonial functions which we have to conduct as part of the graduation ceremony. Because I know that many of you will probably forget to do what I'm going to ask you to do. And I want you to do it publicly so that as you are going to celebrate in braais and soft drinks, and underline soft drinks, but please take out your certificates and hold them on your right-hand side. In your right hand, right, and then you turn on the side where your parents and your relatives and your spouses are sitting, and then you wave the certificate and say, thank you for your support. I did not hear that properly. Just repeat again. That's good. That's good. And then finally, just look on stage and raise those certificates once again and say to the academics, thank you very much for teaching us. Repeat again. Thank you very much. And finally, thank yourselves. Okay. By virtue of the powers vested in me as Vice-Chancellor and Principal, I now dissolve this congregation of the VUT University of Technology.
Sana